Right, make you bigger so I can see you better. Lovely. Right, guys, let's start today with a moment of silence. So let's grab two balls in two hands. So let's recognise these as side swap two, and we're just going to take a couple of breaths in. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a breath in. Close your eyes, fill up your lungs, and just ground yourself in the space where we're at. And then take a breath out. Let's give them balls a little bit of a squeeze. And we do the same thing. We're going to take a big breath in. And then as we breathe out, let's just bring a smile to our face. Give them balls a bit of a squeeze again. Okay, same thing one more time. Big breath in, biggest one yet. As you breathe in, just notice where you are, your surroundings, and how you feel right now. Give your balls a bit of a squeeze. And then breathe out. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep one ball in our hand this morning. Morning, Ben. Always connecting. Okay, let's keep one ball in our hand this morning. And we're going to go with some gratitude, but we're going to keep our feeling ball. So one ball this morning is our gratitude ball. So look at both of them and just recognize which is your gratitude and which is your feeling ball. Okay. And what I want you to do is I want you to keep that feeling ball in your hand in that side swap two. And I just want you to let's gather some thoughts, gather some gratitude this morning. Got a nice bright ball there this morning, Ben. Green. Okay, and let's keep our eyes open this time. Okay, let's just look around our space, and as we catch those thoughts of gratitude, something that we're grateful for this morning, I want you to recognize something at the same time in the space that you've not looked at in a while. Okay, wherever it might be, just acknowledge that, and just catch that thought of gratitude, and let's spend about 30 seconds to a minute on that. What I want you to do is I want you to switch, but keep it in side swap one, but I want you to switch where you throw it, so you can do it this way, you can do it this way, you can do it this way, completely up to you. I just want you to move about, but I just want you to dig in a little bit deeper with that gratitude this morning. So whatever it is you're grateful for, find some things that surround that and just catch and throw those thoughts as well. See how many things can come through your mind. See if you can catch something new every time you throw the ball. Just acknowledging the breath as well as we go, how it feels in our hands, maybe how we feel right now. And as we do that, just have a little bit of a squeeze of that feeling ball that's in your hand, that's not really doing anything. And check in with how we feel. So have a bit of smile practice, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to swing our arms back and forth like this, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to throw a 3-3 at the same time. Oh, actually, let's do it alternately. Let's do this, okay? So let's recognize these arms as a smile. So as you swing one arm, turn your head that way and just give a little smile in that direction. A smile from the arms, a smile from the mouth, and more importantly, a smile from the tummy. And what I want you to do is I want you to do a 3-3. You might have to speed your arms up a little bit. Catch, and then take them back into that smile. Try and find a little bit of rhythm there. But actually difficult to do. So as we catch, we're dropping it. As we catch, we're dropping it into that smile. We can work with one ball as well. If you're joining in live and you've not got quite two yet, back and forth. The important thing is that we're practicing that smile on the left, practicing it on our right, and feeling it in our tummy. Okay, this time, guys, what I want you to do is I want you to just throw a 4-4. Okay, so instead of crossing them over, 4-4, we're going to keep that smile going, and we're just going to kind of check in with how we feel right now, check in with our battery for the day, Okay, so I want you to start low. And then I want every time we go, I want you to get higher and higher with those balls all the way to the top of your ceiling. Try not to let it hit the ceiling, but just try and get it as close as you can. So we're going 4-4, well, 6-6, or however high you can get it. But we're adding those smiles on either side as well. So we can do this with one ball, and then switching hands, doing it with the other ball, or we can continue doing it with those two. The important thing not necessarily is the juggling. It's that recognizing those balls getting higher, recognizing this energy that we're filling ourselves up with today, practicing those smiles, and just be aware of how equal each ball is. So when you throw one up and the other, is it the same height or is it slightly off? Just recognize those minor details. And let's just bring that into a low 4-4. And we're going to go 4-1-1. And we're just going to recognize that little window, that little worry window. And anything that is weighing heavy on us today, whoop, we can look through it. 4-1-1, 4-1-1. And if there is anything, just take a look through that window, recognize that. And let's just run back one more time to just fill that cup back up with that positive energy for today. Let's take both of those balls, squish them on our heart, and let's just take a breath in there before we move on to a little bit of visualization. So big breath in. Let all of those thoughts wash over you. Just catch that thought of gratitude again, whatever it was. Keep breathing in. Recognize the space. Think about that thing that you just acknowledged that you've not seen in a while. Squeeze those balls. And then take a breath out. So, guys, the first thing we're going to do this morning is we're going to set an intention with these balls. So one ball is going to be a positive ball this morning, and the other ball is going to be a negative ball. You can see this in a different way if you want. So one ball could be you. And the other ball could be an inner imposter, right? Depending on whichever way you want to look at it. One's positive, one's negative. You can relate these to however you want. But just look at those balls right now and recognize one as negative. Throw it up and down a couple of times and recognize one as positive. We're just going to let this reverberate underneath everything that we do today. So we might visit this positive and negative ball as we go through, but we just want to set that intention. So we're going to jump into this visualization. I started it real quick yesterday, but we did it a little bit a few weeks ago. So it's this bike analogy that's starting to build a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a 3 and a 1. Okay. 3 and a 1. Okay. So this is our pedals. Okay. We can pedal forward on our bike or we can pedal backwards on our bike. You can choose which is which. Forwards and backwards. And let's think about this as the energy source of our moving bike, the thing that is needed to make everything work. So as we're traveling along on our bike, we might at time need a couple of brakes. We've got our front brake and our back brake. Okay, so let's take that into a 4-4. And sometimes let's recognize that we have to put the brakes on, or sometimes we have to let the brakes off. Okay, let's jump back to that pedaling through our day, forwards and backwards. And then we've got our brakes, which we can choose, depending on wherever we're at, to put them on or take them off, right? So 5-1, we've got these wheels that are moving forwards or that are moving backwards, depending on which way we're pedaling. This bike goes two ways. And let's recognize these wheels as the consequence of those pedals moving, the energy that's created. This is our day. We go forwards, we can go backwards. And on those wheels, We have, thanks for the term, Ben, I didn't know what they were called, the Spokey Dokies, which is now what they are. 6-6. Okay, so as we pedal our energy, as we give energy to this bike, the wheels turn as a consequence. And as a consequence of those turning motions, there are these vertical things that happen depending on what forces are coming into play at what time. To do with the speed, to do really with the energy that we're giving it. Okay, so let's start that again. Let's run through. So we've got these pedals at a 3-1 that we can move forward and we can move backwards. We've got these brakes. As we're at these brakes, I want you to just think about right now where you are. Okay, where you're riding your bike to. Okay, so maybe think about a really nice place. Doesn't necessarily have to be somewhere that you've maybe rode a bike to, but just let's imagine we're going somewhere through a local park or through somewhere. Okay, we've got those brakes. Okay, and then we've got these wheels that are turning a 5-1 in one direction and the other direction. And this morning, as I was doing my research on my adventure to find stuff, I was thinking about all of the cycles that we've been speaking about over the last 8 weeks. And I was relating them somehow to these wheels. So we had the choices, chances, and changes, the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, the rhythm, structures, and routines. What else have I got written down? The dreams, the goals, the habits. And I think today that these all sit in this circle world. Right, so it's not necessarily the energy. The energy is coming from the pedals, right? But we can choose how fast or slow we go. Okay, let's jump on to the next one. We've got these spokey dokies, okay? Again, that are moving up and down. That's their only path, really. Maybe have a think about how that can relate to you and your bike today. So let's go to a 3-3 and a 2-2. I'm going to talk about these two together. 3-3, 2-2, 3-3, 2-2. Let's just have a moment to think in that 2-2. 3-3, 2-2. So that 3-3 is us on that bike making the whole thing work. It's not going to go on its own. It's not going to give itself the energy. We have to pedal. We have to steer. We have to control the brakes. We have to control the speed. And all of those things, the right balance of them all, allows us to sit on top of that bike for as long as we want to. And let's just recognize that infinity sign. Let's recognize that ongoing path, I guess we could take. And let's just hold the balls for a second on their own. Let's recognize where we're at. Let's visualize that space we're in where we're riding our bike. And let's recognize this as our subconscious understanding. We know if we can ride a bike, we can get on that bike and do it. Like if you know you can juggle because you've worked at it, you can pick it up and you can juggle. It's not something you forget, right? It sits in that subconscious, but there is a belief that we can. We know we can do it when we choose to do it, if we have got to the point in which we can. So let's just take that moment to reflect there. But let's come back to that 3-3, okay? And just recognize us now going through our day, whatever our day is going to be, whatever life is going to happen today, whatever is going to unfold for us. We've got that balance. Okay, let's just take a breath in there. Let's squish them on our heart. And then just for 30 seconds, let's just take a couple of deep breaths in and just let all that wash over you. Take one thing away from that. Think about the one thing that connected with you, whatever it is, and just take that away from this exercise. Keep breathing in Squeeze those balls, maybe recognize that side swap too, that understanding. And then breathe out. Okay, so I'm going to give you an option here. You can continue working with 2 balls, okay? Or you can add a third one. If you're adding a third one, you can work with the 4-2-3, which it's getting better. Or a 4-4-1. Completely up to you. Switch between those two if you know what they are. If you're joining in live, you can work with here a 4-4, just throwing one ball up, and also a 3-3 if you're not quite sure what those mean. 4-4 or 3-3. Choose one or flick between them both. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to just jump back into yesterday. And I said 3 statements yesterday, and I want to repeat them today. And I'm going to give you a choice as to whether you want to reflect on what you thought about yesterday or think about something new for today. Okay? The important thing here is really that you can think past the balls. So if you're focusing too much on the balls and you're not able to hear and think at the same time, maybe take a ball out or slow down a step. We can do this with 1 as well for anyone joining in live. A 3 or a 4. Notice if you're doing it with 1, which ball you're doing it with, your positive ball or your negative ball. Just take a moment to think about that. So the first statement, this is how I will make today great. Okay, so that's something for you to answer for yourself in your own mind. This is how I will make today great for you. The second statement is something positive I experienced yesterday or this morning or at any point before this class. Something positive I experienced yesterday. And the third and final one is, what was my good deed yesterday? That could have been something for yourself, could have been something for somebody else. What was your good deed yesterday? And what we're going to do to finish off today is we're going to take a positive and a negative ball, and we're going to just look at them, and we're going to do a rampage of appreciation. So I'm going to throw out some numbers to you, some side swaps. They're the same ones that we used last week. And I'm going to start slow. I'm going to do it twice. I'm going to do it slow and fast. I want to see if you can keep up with it. Okay, so 5-3 is the first one. 4-2 is the second one. 5-1 is the third one. 5-5 is the fourth. 7-1. 4-4. Okay, so we're going to get a little bit faster with that. Okay, 5-3, 4-2, 5-1, 5-5, 7-1, 4-4. Let's think about something we're grateful for as we do it on the next one. 5-3, 4-2, 5-1, 5-5, 7-1, 4-4. Let's try and catch all of the thoughts that we thought about in the last 20 minutes as we do this. Catch them and throw them just like you are your balls. 5-3, 4-2, 5-1, 5-5, 7-1, 4-4. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to put 2 outstretched hands out to the side this morning. No bent arms, flat wrists. We are going to do that same thing, but we're going to do it in our head. So you are going to imagine this happening. So we're going to close our eyes, and as I read out them numbers, you're going to imagine you doing this. Okay? Let's start off with that. Close the eyes. 5-3, 4-2, 5-1, 557144. And what we're going to do at the same time is we are not allowed to bend our arms here. We're going to throw them up straight in the air. We're going to turn and we're going to try and catch them in our hands, but we are not allowed to bend our arms. So I'm going to do it first. Throw up, turn, and then try and catch. The aim's going to be, might be a little bit off, but let's give that a try. In your own time, throw them up, spin around, catch, don't bend them arms. Recognise if they fall on the ground, they're a drop ball that you can pick back up. Well done this morning, guys. I hope you've had a nice session. I hope you have a lovely day. It looks like a dance from my end. It's like, bam, bam. Should do that with 4 and just like spin around, and maybe we can add an effect on the camera. You know, as we're all in the digital world now, can have a nice little swirl. Nice, Ben. Cheers, guys. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Cheers, Joe.
No worries. See you later. Have a nice one, guys.
See you later. And welcome, Matt.
Yes, Matt. Welcome. Come back, Matt. Come back.
Only 7 weeks late, mate, but you know.
You know me.
It's good to see you.
You too, guys. See you later.
Bye,
Guys, thank you ever so much for joining in online. You're more than welcome to come along to the Zoom room. There's more people in there and you get to see people's faces, or you can join in live. Completely up to you. If you head on over to spaceplans.com, you can get there. But I'm here every morning at 9 o'clock, so I shall